This is our Bobcat T250, and I've been sanding and grinding on this thing to try to get the paint restored, and I'm tired of it. I'm going to do a little something different. I still got one more side to do and more decals to put on. I'm going to look into this engine. I've got an issue. You can see all the soot inside the door. It's everywhere, and it looks like somebody's put duct tape on this thing here on the exhaust pipe, but down inside looks like it's coming out the very top of that exhaust. It's hard to see. You see where it's blowing all in here, and it's black. Everything on the engine is covered with soot, and if it's blowing inside here, it's probably going inside the cab with me. It's all over the paint. It's going to be hard to paint this with that soot everywhere, and it sure ain't going to look good if we leave it. So we're going to tackle that today. Let's get into it. I guess the first thing we need to do is get some light in here and make some room. I want to take this screen off the back of it. I think it just lifts out so I can get to it. I'm going to try to see what's wrong with this pipe. I may try to go to the parts store and see if I can just get a piece of pipe with a bend in it, or see what I got in my stash outside, and just maybe just even weld a new piece on here. And I don't want to take this radiator hose out because I don't want to drain all the coolant. I need to take this breather out because this needs to be welded. It's broke off. And I might as well take the battery off. You really need to remove the battery, because anytime you weld on a machine that has electronics in it, or even if they don't, if you hook a ground up to, say, this side here, and you weld on this muffler, it's going to travel through the whole machine. It's going to travel through your bushings and bearings. It's going to travel through your grease and right through your computer before it gets back to the welder. So I'll probably ground it right to the exhaust, but I'm still taking this battery out. I'm going to have sparks everywhere, and I'm going to put a blanket. I ordered a blanket online that's supposed to be flame retardant. I'm going to try to cover this whole engine, but I'm going to take this breather housing out anyway because it's got to be welded. I've got to take the battery out to get to the tensioner on the belt. So we'll just kill 3 birds with 1 stone, I suppose. Look at this thing. There's nothing there. Once I got that tape off of there, there was nothing left. So this is going to be dealt with. It's got a big old dent in the back of it. It looks like somebody may have ground on it and tried to, was going to patch it or whatever, and it just didn't work out. But it's dented terrible. If I can get it just below that dent, I might be able to just tack a new piece on there. I was hoping that this metal bar would come out, but it's welded in solid. I got the engine cover off. It just lifted out. Of course, I dropped it on my oil cooler, but it didn't damage it, hopefully. This is nasty. All this soot. I'm betting that the soot was coming out of here, out of this hole, and blowing down in here. I don't see any more holes in the exhaust. That don't mean they're not there. I've never been inside of that cab. See if we can see back in here. I don't even know if this thing has a turbo. I'm guessing it does. Can't see it because, like I said, I've never been inside the cab. I haven't got it put together yet. see anything down in there. Hopefully the leaks are all out here. Man, there's so much soot in there. Maybe it's coming from somewhere else. We'll find out, I suppose. Let me get a sawzall and chop this thing off. Now look at this mess. Really see what it is now. Get right off there. It's bent. I mean, that is so mutilated right there. Be hard to get it back around. Gee. Something down in there. Oh man, this thing's supposed to have a baffle in it. Spark arrestor. I don't want to buy any muffler if I can help it, because I don't think I can get them bolts out. And they probably got nuts on the back of them. They do. I can reach two of them. Might be able to get to the bottom one. Gee. What else? This is what you get when you buy a post rental machine. It's just everything that can go wrong with it has went wrong, and it's been patched and cobbled and patched. Oh boy. I see I'm going to get metal in that intake. I need to go ahead and take all that stuff out of there. Get it out of there and get it out of the way. That way I don't melt it, don't get metal in it, and weld slag in it. Let's knock that out. Well, that escalated quickly. Somewhere down in there, there's one of Matt's Mac wrenches. And I don't like that mess right there. Whatever that oil is all over that turbo, that don't look good. I also see that looks like there's hydraulic fluid coming out of the top of that pump. I can't, like I said, I've never been into the cab of this thing. I can't get it open until I get my springs on it, and I have to do that outside when it's warmer. So I ended up taking the exhaust off, and it's not bad. It looks like it's got some leaks down here. Maybe not. I don't know what's all over it. Some kind of black goo. Maybe a pinhole. I can't tell. Maybe it's not leaking there. Maybe it's just up here. But everything in here is sooted up. You can't tell where the leaks are coming from. Look at all that soot. Motor's clean. Had to take a few other things off. I couldn't get the air cleaner out without taking the exhaust off, because I can't get to that one clamp there. So I was going to work on the exhaust anyway, so I figured I might as well take it apart. So now I got to get the air box out, because it's broken right there, the weld is. And now I can get to this clamp. And I thought it was a 10mm, but a 10 didn't fit it. It might be a 1/4 inch. Maybe I'll put a ratchet wrench in there and get that loose, and then I got to take this one sensor plug off here. I should be able to get this air filter housing out. I've already got the battery out. And then I got to get to this cover here to get in there to where the belt tensioner is. So I don't know what I'm going to do about the exhaust. If they're not real expensive, if I can find maybe an aftermarket, because you really need that flash arrestor in there, that spark arrestor. You're digging around in the woods when it's all dry. Sparks is going to come out of this muffler like crazy, and it's required to be in there. So it looks like the way it's swollen up, I'm going to guess that at some point that spark arrestor was plugged, and it's put a lot of pressure on this system. Who knows? I didn't think they would even start if they didn't have exhaust. But I'm going to get a little deeper in and stick a magnet down in there and see if I can fish that wrench out. I don't know where it went. Somewhere down in here. Got more. God, it's sand on everything. Just sand after sand. And that feels like that's pretty dry, so it ain't been leaking. I think that's oil cooled, that turbo is. So once I get this good and clean, and make sure that those oil lines, looks like a little line right there. I don't think they're water cooled, I think they're oil cooled. the turbo, but I don't know much about these. We'll see. We get it all cleaned up and see what's going on down in there. There's so much crud though. Put back in there. That is dirt, and it's piled up to the belts. The belts are watering through it. And I washed this thing twice, but without having the cab open, you can't really get into that poo that's back in there. Well, let's continue on, see if we can get this further apart. Holy poop on a pancake. Why is this so hard to get out? Man, everything is either broken or wire tied together. I got the filter housing out, and of course that was broke already. The little spot welds is all broke. So I've got to come up with a way to clean that up, get that back on there. Everything is just covered with this friggin' smoke. How long has this thing been leaking? And I got a feeling, I don't know, I got a feeling this daggone front main or rear main, whatever it is, rear main I guess, is out. Won't know that till I get this cover off though. We'll be back in just a minute. Let me get this out of here. It may take a minute. Well, this really went south. That's fresh motor oil. I started this up yesterday and let it run about 30 minutes. And that's a pond of motor oil in the bottom of this case. The belt is decent. It looks halfway decent. It's fairly tight. But if it's slinging oil all over it, it's going to slip and give me that charge pressure warning that I've been getting. Hydraulic charge pressure. Now this thing's really been slinging. It's been coming off the flywheel. So that means taking this assembly here off and sliding that flywheel out of there and putting the new rear main seal in this. I need to get this battery tray out, I suppose. And it's all rotted off. I end up having to cut them or drill them probably. Oh, this just got way bigger. So I'm not going to do any more cleaning or painting or grinding or anything until I decide what I'm going to do with this mess. I found the mufflers online. There's a company on Amazon that sells them. It's I don't know, a tractor place. They sell this muffler, this part number, for $210. It's 60% off right now. They're around $300. I think Bobcat are like $394. So I don't care to buy one from a tractor supply place if they've got them. If it's the right one, it looks like it is. But oh yeah, we're done for now. I'm going to have to get me a rear seal ordered, and I'm not going to take it apart until I can find one. Yeah. I may check on the price of a belt too. That looks like something that I may have to change. I'll get it out there and look. This is a big job to take all this out, so I might as well put a belt on it while I'm in here. It may be a day or two. This thing may be finished for a couple of days. Meanwhile, if I have to order that stuff, I may go ahead and grind the rest of this. I only like this corner on this machine in the cab. I may finish it up. Who knows? I'm stopping tonight, and that'll probably be the end of this video. Stay tuned till we get more parts, I guess. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you hanging out. Please subscribe. I do appreciate you watching. I like all the company I can get when I'm over here working by myself. You guys stay clean.